The NASW annual conference in 2020 is like no other in its history. The coronavirus pandemic, COVID-19, has forced most groups and organizations to use their creativity and also to employ the virtual space to continue to offer members and others their professional services and educational based on the workshop, the courses, and importantly, the guest speakers who will be gracing our presence. Fortunately for the chapter, the national organization also had its annual meeting in a virtual format and thus provided a blueprint for ways to think about, plan, and execute a virtual meeting over multiple days. Our conference this year will be in virtual format, but will be no less interesting, exciting, and educational based on the workshops, the courses, and importantly, the guest speakers who will be gracing our presence. The timing of this year's conference coincides with the nation grappling with twin national disasters, one with COVID-19 and the other, the long-standing issue of policing in minority communities. Earlier on this year, May 25th to be exact, George Floyd was murdered by police officers in Minneapolis, and the nation has been forced to deal with both the COVID pandemic and the issue of police brutality in minority communities. As the nation faced yet another video recording of police officers behaving recklessly. So this conference then cannot be viewed through the lenses of the status quo. In addition to the use of the virtual space for delivery, the conference continues at a time when the society is forced into reckoning with the question of, does Black Lives Matter? And while some might attempt to change the conversation or deflect from the critical question by saying all lives matter, the reality is that one cannot begin to address the simple question until the issue of Black lives is addressed. The issue of Black lives is not just about police murder, but it is about the number of COVID deaths that have decimated Black and brown communities. It is also about access to the internet as schools have turned to the virtual space to bring instructions to their pupils. And lest we forget, it is also about low-wage jobs in the service sector that are now deemed essential and thus exposing the workers to greater risk of getting the coronavirus. Most of these workers are from minority communities. This conference will also forced into reckoning with the reparation for African Americans. While appreciating that these items might not be on the menu or the program for the conference, it is inevitable that lurking in the background or around the corner of every conversation, training, speech, workshop, and other related activities will be the issues that were front and center during the first 9 months of this year, 2020. As people ensure that they're getting their CEUs, the time to reflect on what it means to be a student, a professional, a resident, and a citizen is of utmost importance. We must be thinking about the elections coming up in November and be deciding how we want to confront the many issues that have been at the forefront of the national consciousness. I look forward with great anticipation to the call to action, the challenge to our profession that will be made by our conference keynote speakers, Drs. Terrence Robert and Alan Lipscomb. With the issues that are confronting us this critical time of our history, the presence of both Drs. Roberts and Lipscomb will be timely. Dr. Roberts is a management consultant, is also an historic figure as he's one of the 9 students to integrate Little Rock Central High. Dr. Lipscomb is the author of Black Male Hunting, a phenomenological study exploring the secondary impact of police induced trauma. So as you join us for this 2020 virtual conference, I hope you learn from and enjoy your workshop presenters, that you'll hear our keynote speakers describe how to meet and to master the challenges being faced by modern social work practitioners, encounter our diverse members, instructors, guests, students, and colleagues. Though virtual, visit and talk with the exhibitors who offer you bridges to organizations where standing up might be magnified. Their reps will be among us with giveaways to entice your interest and to remind you of the work that they do. Finally, let us leave this conference fired up, charged up, revived, informed, and ready to move toward, to confront the many issues of concern facing our country, community, and profession. As we are reminded by the great actress Audrey Hepburn, people, even more than things, have to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and never throw out anyone. In your service, Sylvester Bowie, President of the NASW California chapter, and I thank you for your attendance and participation in this conference and in these offerings.